I come from Louisiana with a guitar on my knee. Say I come from Louisiana with a guitar on my knee. Looking for my sweet Susanna, running from the state police. Stole a Lexus down in Texas, drove it back to New Orleans. I stole a Lexus down in Texas, drove it back to New Orleans. Ran me down in the bayou, handed me this ball and chain. I'm doing well here in myself. I'm doing well here in myself. Bayou County Jail.
Hi, I'm Dief. Welcome to the Bayou Degradable Show. Glad you showed up. We're doing a jambalaya today, which is a classic Cajun dish. Everybody loves a good jambalaya, and I've got a couple tricks I'm going to show you on how to do it, and you are going to love it. We've got some beautiful Cajun pork and beef sausage and some chicken thighs. I'm going to put it all in the pot and show you how to do it. It's called 20-minute Jennings Jambalaya. The first thing we're going to do is get the rice going. I cook my rice with chicken broth. It just gives the rice a little more flavor and a little more dynamic, and that's how all the Cajuns do it. So what I'm using is two 32-ounce bottles or boxes of chicken broth. So I'm going to make the rice with the chicken broth. We'll bring the chicken broth to a boil, and when it comes to a rapid boil, we'll add 4 cups of rice to 8 cups of chicken broth. And then we'll bring it to a simmer and let it cook for 20 minutes. And then, without lifting the lid during that 20 minutes, you'll take it off the heat and it'll be like Uncle Ben's. Perfect every time. We want to put 2-3 tablespoons of oil in the pot, let it heat up a little bit. And the first thing we're going to do is brown our sausage. Now, I don't know, it's just a lot easier when I'm cooking. When I get in and I start reading these recipes, and there's a half a teaspoon of this, and a teaspoon of this, and a tablespoon of that, years ago I became a shaker. So what I like to do is get my sausage well seasoned. That's a little Creole seasoning there. I've got a little garlic powder here. I'm going to shake all over the top of that. I've got a little onion powder here. The only thing I'm missing I can see right now is some Tabasco sauce. I'm going to put a lot of black pepper on there. You know, if you want to know, if you're a measure, it's about a teaspoon of each and about a tablespoon of salt. Now we're talking. And I like to use 1/8 of a cup of Tabasco. And when you pour that on there, you'll smell that vinegar and you'll smell that heat. And I only do it on my sausage. And that seems to work just perfect. Now we're going to brown this really well on a very high heat. So you're going to have to stir it every couple of minutes and watch it. See it starting to char there. Keep everything even and on the bottom of the dish. Make sure all your sausage is separated. And we'll come back a couple more times, and when we're finished, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when we have these charred. Now, when I first started cooking this dish, it was fun because what I try to do is get everything chopped and everything in the pot and done when the rice was done 20 minutes later. Hence the name 20-minute Jennings Jambalaya. So I used to make it with chicken breasts, but they just dry out too much. The chicken thighs stay wet. I leave some of the fat, unless it's a big piece of fat that you wouldn't want to bite into, like that one. I take it off. And then what you want to do is you want to cut your thighs into bite-sized pieces. So you take each thigh and cut it into bite-sized pieces. And we'll go ahead and do that with the rest of the meat, and then we'll throw that in with our sausage in just a second. And then we like to add the vegetables. I use a cup of onion, a cup of celery, and a cup of bell pepper, some parsley, and about 4 cloves of garlic chopped up. And that seems to work perfectly in this jambalaya. And I'm going to tell you, the way this one's shaping up, you're really going to love it. I like the Hunt's and the Red Gold brands, but you can use whatever brand that you like. But this last thing we're going to put in is the stewed tomatoes. And I think that gives it a little more of a Creole touch than it does a Cajun touch. But the Creoles in New Orleans will add a lot of tomatoes to a lot of their dishes. And seafood gumbo, you'll put crushed tomatoes in it. This one in the jambalaya, we're going to just add the stewed tomatoes and stir them in and let them cook down about 10 minutes. I'm going to show you a little trick on how to chop this Italian parsley. We grab hold of the front of the knife firmly, and then we start chopping with the weighted end of the knife. And you do it a fast chop, and you'll find this happens very quickly. Then you'll have some fine chopped parsley. So we want to cut them about 1/8 of an inch apiece. We're using 2 bunches of green onions. And I'll cut them up into the green. I don't use them all. But when it stops getting crunchy, I stop chopping. Put the rest to the side. It's nice to cut just 2 or 3 of these at a time. That way you're just nipping off the roots, because you want to keep all this onion. All the good stuff is down there in that white onion. That's where all the crunchy stuff is. Okay, we've got our 3 main ingredients. We cooked our rice with the chicken broth. We've got the meat with the vegetables. And we have our fresh green onions with our fresh parsley. We put that in last because we want to keep it crunchy. Okay, so we're going to take the rice. You want a bowl that's big enough that'll hold all the ingredients and you're able to stir it all in together. And I hate to tell you, but this rice came out absolutely perfect. So you pour the rice in, make sure you get it all, then you pour your meat in, meat and vegetables. Here's another one of these secrets. This is Kitchen Bouquet. They make a lot of gravies, enhancers. This is a browning sauce. This is what turns your jambalaya brown. So I put about 2 tablespoons of it, and I'll mix it in. So if you'll see how I'm pouring it in, I want to make sure it gets all over, and it'll turn your rice brown. And if it doesn't turn it brown enough, I'll add a little bit more. That was probably about 1.5 tablespoons. And now I'm just mixing everything together. And I saw this, I couldn't wait to buy this bowl. It's a big extra size bowl. And I saw it on one of the test kitchen shows. And it's unbelievable. It's got a rubber bottom, so it doesn't slide everywhere. And when you're mixing this up, the one thing you want to make sure is that you're leaving no white rice anywhere. So you mix it until it's fully mixed. Well, 20 minutes getting jambalaya. It's one of my favorites, and this one came out great. Let's plate it up. Hi, welcome to the Bayou Degradable Show. I'm glad you can be a part of our musical journey, because today we're doing a great song called I Can't Stay. We wrote it a long time ago. It's about a U.S. Marine Corps who's in his barracks and he's thinking about his loved one. I wrote this with Vernon Rust and Mark Colley, a couple of good co-writers, written a bunch of songs with them. This is one of my favorites. It's called I Can't Stay, and I've got Harmonica Hoosier here on harmonica. Hope you enjoy it. Well, I guess I could have written, and I probably should have phoned. I couldn't let you hear these words alone. And I wish it could be different, another time, another place, and we could be together, and I'd be coming home to stay. But you know you can't go with me, and it breaks my heart to say, I wish that it could be some other way, but I can't stay. I can't stay. I can't tell you where I'm going, but we have to face the fact that this time I might not be coming back. God knows I'm gonna miss you, and I'll probably lose a strike. But I just had to see you one more time. And I wish it could be different, another time, another place. We could be together, and I'd be coming home to stay. But you know you can't go with me, and it breaks my heart to say, I wish it could be some other way, but I can't stay. I can't stay. I can't stay. I can't stay. Yeah! Hey, we'll see you in the next Bayou Degradable Show. Hope you had a good time. See you next time.
I'm just sitting there, straight faced.
Hi, welcome to the Bayou Degradable Show, second part. Hi, welcome to the musical part.
You know, those who have known me for a long time know. Those who have known me for a long time know that I love Budweiser. It is the king of beers. It's Beechwood aged, and it's America's favorite. So here's to the king of beers.